Hello, it's Jack again. This video is going to be a little bit of a virus investigation, and I'm sick once more, so I had to make a YouTube video. This virus was sent via an email in a zip folder with a password protection on it to bypass any email-related virus detection systems. In this notepad document contains the body of the email. You can see here there's a pretty basic social engineering attempt made to get the user to download and open the zip file as well as access this link. So what we're going to do is open up this web page and just take a look at it. As you can see, it is in Arabic, not to push any stereotypes, but that is the case. The only thing of real information here is the tagline, which you can see on screen. There isn't anything super interesting about this page. It might even be the fact that it is now under a different ownership, and the time that it took me to get to this virus and actually look into it, it has changed ownership, and this is no longer a malicious site. I'm not sure. I don't know Arabic. So I'm just going to extract the virus now. It is password protected, as I said earlier, so we put that in. It is in a ISO file, so we'll mount that. And here is our VBA script. This is the loader for the virus. I'm just going to copy it and save it for later. So we go to run it. You can't really see anything happening, but we will go into what happens when you run it later. I just looked in the task manager and tried to find any existence of some malicious process that I didn't recognize. Pretty basic cursory look. I also checked the startup folder and startup programs for low effort and low skill methods of making this virus run on startup. Alright, so I'm about to open up the file here in Notepad so we can all see what is going on in this script. So the first thing I really see is this begin signature block line and section. This covers like 98% of the size of this file. It is not called anywhere. It's not a variable. I'm not sure what its purpose is other than probably evading virus detecting, just to make the file look a little bit more legitimate and change the hash a little bit. So we have two lines here at the top, just below the lorem ipsum text for also virus evasion. So we have the CT line, which opens up a file called data.txt in the root directory. You can't see it in there right now because it is set to hidden, and I do not have hidden files enabled, which I will enable later as I realize that this virtual machine doesn't have them enabled. Alright, so here's where I enable the hidden items, and we're just going to poke around in the folders a little bit before we get to the actual files. This one is empty, not really sure what goes in that one. So I just went ahead and copied those and tried to move them over so I can look at them later. At this point, the actual VM crashed and took the host with it, actually. So I'm not sure what that was, if that was the virus or if it was just a weird resource tie. So now that we're back in Windows, we're just going to eject the ISO and open the folder on the desktop that I copied all the contents to. So we have data.txt in the root, and all this has is the text vr32. This will come in handy for later when we're looking at the script again. I also opened up the GIF file in here, which no clue, maybe it's just more evasion, I'm not really sure. So I'm also going to look at this arcing.tmp file in the inducted folder, and if we look here, it looks like an executable, specifically a DLL. So what we're going to do is open up that VBS file again. Okay, so what we have here is under the second line, we have the shell execute. So what that is all about is it puts the text regs and the contents of that data.txt file. So it's going to execute that like a command. So first we need to figure out what that is. Well, in the data.txt, the string VR32 can be found. So what this is going to be regs VR32, which is the command in Windows to register a DLL. So now what we're going to do is replace the command execute, or the shell execute function with the echo function, so that we can actually see what the command is going to look like. But with the regsvr32 context, we can kind of figure out what's going on. It's passing arcing.tmp as the DLL to register, and then open to open it. So here it is, the regsvr32. In the inducted folder, we have the arcing.temp file as our DLL, and then it's going to open it and run it. So that's pretty cut and dry. That's how it's going to actually run the virus, and the arcing.temp or TMP is our payload. The VPS file is our loader. So here we are at virustotal.com. This is a very useful tool for finding if a file is possibly malicious and actually analyzing it a little bit further. So you can already see here that it's detected by a majority of their engines, which include but are not limited to McAfee, Avast, the Windows default virus detector, which did detect this virus and would not run it. I had to make sure to disable it. So I actually didn't upload the loader to VirusTotal, however that was detected by Windows Defender when it was enabled on this computer. I actually uploaded the arcing.tmp as a arcing.dll. It is a dynamic link library, which we found out in earlier analysis, so I just uploaded it as one. So as past me is rummaging through VirusTotal, I'm actually going to tell you about the ZenBox analysis that was run. It's empty here, but I actually was able to run it, and it just took an hour. So it's got some evasion. It was detected as a malware and a Trojan. It uses DLL sideloading and process injection to hide within other programs. It is XORed, so just pretty basic encryption stuff to try to evade antiviruses. So it also has some virtualization or sandbox evasion. It will sleep in whatever extensive loops where it's not executing at all to try to hinder the dynamic analysis of sandboxes. It also tries to get credentials via API hooking. It overwrites codes with unconditional jumps, possibly setting hooks for foreign processes. I'm not really sure about that. There's all sorts of other stuff. It tries to read the host file. It discovers all the running processes. It gets the system information like the software policies and volume information. Again, it's listed that it tried to evade the sandbox by sleeping. So it tries to detect sandboxes and other dynamic analysis tools, and AV process strings were found, so it was probably used to terminate antiviruses. It looks for common file paths and gets the size of different files. I'm not really sure what for. It's difficult to say because it is a compiled DLL. It does do quite a bit of network activity. Just looking at what it does here, it accesses two DNS servers actually four DNS servers, but two actual command and control DNS servers at port 443 and port 80. I would almost guarantee you that it is a reverse shell, or it is a type of botnet where it just gets the command from the server. The servers are still up, and I'm working on getting reported. The servers have just a basic hello string. It's not suspicious in its own, but paired with this, it's possible that that server will just have an update to the web version that will actually be run as a command. And that's my suspicion there. It also drops two files. It drops the arcing.tmp as a DLL elsewhere, and also dumps itself into the temp folder as a DLL. It accesses the registry, obviously. It sticks itself in a couple locations. It also adds a certificate authority and certificate. So I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's for the 443 communications for HTTPS. They didn't actually get any actual certificate, so they just drop the trusted certificate in the registry. That's the only thing I could really think of. Other than that, I believe that's all. I can't really see anything else in here that is of interest. Obviously, it tries to do some privilege escalation. It injects itself into system processes, tries to allocate memory and forward processes, maps a DLL or memory area into another process, writes to foreign memory regions. So it's very much trying to evade by injecting itself into other processes. On the screen, I'm just poking through the registry, seeing if I can find where it drops itself, but I was not able to. Here, however, VirusTotal knows all, so we do know what happens there. This virtual machine has served its purpose, so now it gets to die a soldier's death. I would like to thank you all for watching. It was kind of fun. Sorry my voice was shot. I tried to keep it together for this video, and if you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching. You have an excellent day, and stay safe out there. The best antivirus is your mind. So be vigilant, don't click on shady links, and don't download things that look suspicious. Have an excellent day, and goodbye.